problems, you know. And that's where I take the example of Anand, having seen death very young in life, 2 or 3 times, he still emerged. He could steep himself in creative process. So we need to find our own module of survival. We need to reshape our own sensibility. And how do we do that will depend on how positive one is with one's worldview. It's very easy to be negative, to give up in life. Life is not easy. I always say this. Who said life is easy? It's going to be tough at every step. But do you have the courage and conviction to stay with your principles and fight it on your principles without getting into the corrupt mode, without getting into the wrong, easy path? I don't know how many of you have read The Road Not Taken. Has anybody read The Road Not Taken? Some of you, if you have not, then you should pick it up. It's a poem by Robert Frost, which is so very important, because it's easy to walk on the trodden path. Very difficult to create a path for yourself. Not going to be easy. But you can do it if you know yourself, if you are confident about yourself, if you have the value system within. He went through a couple of broken marriages, the family disintegration, and yet to keep yourself as a whole person is very important. And that's what Mulk Raj Anand was. If you look at his, how many books have you? You've got about 1,000, right, collections. What about the artifacts? Are they part of 1,000? 150. 153. In his collection, if I recall correctly that I had gone and seen, he had about 500. He would have given to different charities in his own lifetime. Prolific man, He did not sit idle even for a minute. And he had time to relearn about himself, getting into different things. I gave you the example of stitching, darning. Then you have painting. Then you have metalwork. You have the sculpture. Then you have writing. He kept on writing till the end. Of course, his later part of his 7 Ages of Man, taken from As You Like It from Shakespeare. Shakespeare talks about 7 Ages of Man. He says that in a lifetime we go through many stages, many ages. So as a child, then he wrote about, so he picked up that and modeled his own autobiography on that. As a child, as a teenager, as a young lover, as a in quest of writing, in quest of social transformation, because all his novels were about finding justice for the people who were not equal at all in a society where there's a lot of exploitation. So social justice is something that he is looking at. He was looking at how a man exploits another man. He talks about how people exploit each other for their own self-interest. No, you need a big heart to write all that and to accept that we do exploit. If you look around, you do find exploitation. It's all about survival of the fittest that one had read long ago, right? If you want to. Atwood again wrote a critical, it's called Survival. It's a critical book where she says, you're either a victim or a survivor. You choose. You want to be a victim or a survivor. So I asked her in one of the interview, are you saying that your survivor is one who perpetuates exploitation? How does it work? There has to be a middle path that Buddha spoke about. The middle way is so important. You don't necessarily have to be an exploiter or a victim. You can also choose to refuse to be a victim and also not exploit anyone. Possible, right? So this is something that one needs to learn from these great writers. And Anand, today is his birth anniversary, 12th of December, and I'm so glad. I congratulate the organization for thinking this is the second lecture in a row. um, I think it's very important to unravel the different facets of Anand. It's like turning the pages, turning the leaf, and finding a new perspective on the man. How we all of us have those perspectives. We are only scared in trying to explore ourselves. You know, the creative juices flow in each one of us, in every one of us. Are, do we have the courage to explore, to turn the leaf and say, let me try this? You need patience and you need to be consistent and you need to follow it up. This young man did that and did it all his life. I think a big round of applause for Mulk Raj Anand on his birth anniversary. And with that, I will close my little talk on Mulk Raj Anand, the man and the writer. What shaped him? How did he emerge out of problems in his life? And how did he pursue his own personality? Exploring one's own self is very important. And I hope at least some of you will take a leaf from Mulk Raj Anand and explore their own selves. Try and find new facets to your personality and don't give up. While you're doing that, don't be disappointed with yourself if you're not able to be successful. We are never successful at one go. We need to keep trying all the time. So on that note, thank you very much for this opportunity.